This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
Tanner, how much have you gotten work with the special teams in, and what have you seen out of them so far?
Yes, sir. This was actually the only day that we didn't do special teams, so we had 2 periods a day for all 14 practices up until this point. Obviously, the spring game, we kicked a little bit on air, but didn't get into too much team stuff. But the first 2 periods of every practice were special teams oriented, so that was good. Got to install our core fundamentals, our philosophy, all that sort of thing, kind of identify some guys. Didn't get too much into some scheme stuff, but just more drill work and kind of see who guys being new. I watched a little bit of last year's film, but try to get everybody kind of a clean slate, see guys who could run, hit. I know everybody didn't come here to be an R5 on kickoff team, but we want to identify those guys and try to find creative ways to make it fun for them.
Return game's been lacking a bit, haven't had a return touchdown in quite some time. Who are some guys that you've seen during spring that you really like back there, both punt and kick?
Several guys have stood out. Cedro being the new guy, you kind of saw some of his explosiveness in the spring game, had a long touchdown, 34-5. All of them are kind of fighting to be back there a little bit. But we definitely got some guys, those slot receiver guys, and even some defensive backs are being willing to hit it and excited to kind of get that, kickoff return. That's my baby, so excited to get that little thing going and hopefully end that streak a little bit.
Alex is a guy that's got some experience behind him. What have you seen out of him so far?
Yeah, he's got a real explosive leg. Been around, the kickers. Sebastian Janikowski, who's one of the best with my time at Oakland Raiders. His ball pops off his foot. His biggest thing is that consistency with really all those specialists. All of them have the big leg potential. All of those guys on the roster who've done a good job recruiting here in the past. Specialists. We're just trying to get that mental game where you miss one, kind of that tennis player mindset. I tell them, tennis. You get aced 15 seconds later, another ball is coming at you. That's kind of how you have to be as a specialist. You make a kick, you miss a kick, 10, 15 seconds later, you got to forget about it, wash it, and you have the mentality, hey, I can't wait to go hit the next one, whether it be good or bad.
So kick returns your baby. Are you not a fan of the whole fair catch thing and start at the 25?
Mixed emotions on it. It does you allow some things, so schematically, not to get too much into it, but if you're expecting a kick, be right, deep right, and they kick it deep left, instead of you spending a bunch of time investing in an alternate return, have the ability to fair catch if you want to. But if they kick it to us where we're expecting to kick to it, we're not going to fair catch. We're going to try to take that thing back.
How important is it keeping your team chemistry outside of practice, being able to hang out with your players and some of the other coaches?
Oh, that's awesome, especially being a new staff, being around the hang with those guys. We're allowed to get those occasional meals with those guys, and that's been good. Had the specialists over. We're going to actually Coach Simon's house tomorrow night to have the safeties over there. But that's a big thing, especially special teams-wise. Like I said, I know when guys get recruited, they want to come play safety, linebacker, wide receiver. So trying to get those guys, have music playing in meetings, tell jokes, make it fun live to kind of get those guys engaged and be into it is a big part, especially on special teams. I get 15 minutes a day with them, so make those 15 minutes, the most fundamentals and get them coached up, but be able to have them embrace their roles and make special teams fun that they look forward to coming to those things is kind of the big philosophy for us.